Talking about fire, the second story. Columns of fire descending from the sky. The summer of 1917 was particularly hot, which was then fairly rare in the Netherlands. To prevent a miscarriage, the doctor ordered bed rest during the last month of her pregnancy. Yeah, we are talking about your mom. Her doctor regularly checked on her early each morning and carried her from the master bedroom on the south side of the house to a room across the hall with a cooler northern exposure. One morning, entering the master bedroom to which father had carried her for the night, he declared, "It's terribly hot today. Fire is falling from the sky." He lifted up mother, carried her across the hall, and lay her on the bed. And there I was.
Child of fire.
And what happened then?
He left to go to have his breakfast. He lived around the corner. And to get ready to make his calls at the hospital. And all through breakfast, his wife was a friend of my mother's. All through breakfast, he kept going, while eating, he kept going like this. As if trying to remember something that he might have misplaced where it was. And his wife asked him, "What's wrong, darling? What's the matter?" He said, "Well, I'm concerned about that young Mrs. Toman. There were no labor pains. That isn't natural." He decided to come back. Came back to the house. And mother was already, I was half asleep. She was only 27 years old. She was still very young. And although she'd had 3 children earlier, she'd never had that feeling. But it was delicious. She was obviously flowing away out of this universe.
Mm.
So everything was lovely and pink and peaceful. And then this doctor comes and asks me what's wrong, if there's anything wrong, do I have any pain? And I tell him, no, only some fluttering here. Fluttering, the doctor said. He calls the nurse, and the two of them, 4 fists, start thumping down here. And she always told me with a look of horror on her face, why she told me this story at all, I don't know, that blood spattered from her womb onto the wall of the bedroom. A stream of blood. She was hemorrhaging. She could have bled away. But that man saved her life. So, even the beginning of my life was very dramatic and violent.
Mm-hmm. Well, but at least the birth was quite quick.
Yep, and he was right there. Very conscientious doctor.
Mm-hmm. Well, Zerka, now we come to the third. Cecile, Celine, we will just call her Zerka. During a cholera epidemic in Krakow, where she lived as a young woman, mother's grandmother volunteered her services and accompanied a doctor from house to house, nursing the sick when the district's public health nurse fell ill. Cholera epidemic. How was that?
But she was a pretty remarkable and independent woman. She couldn't stand seeing these people sick around herself. She wanted to do something about it, so she volunteered as a public nurse, community nurse. And her daughter, which happened to be my grandmother, was about 17 years old. And she came home one day very tired, and she said, "Darling, you're going to have to help me tomorrow with the rounds of the patients." And my grandmother went, but she said, "Don't be afraid. Nothing will happen to you if you're not afraid. Look at me." Great-grandmother said to my grandmother. But my grandmother was young and she was afraid. As a matter of fact, she caught a light grade, I was told, cholera, if that exists or not. But she did have a little internal upset. And so I guess my great-grandmother told her to stay home.
Mm-hmm. And then you say, "My name was passed on to me along with that legacy of service." And then you tell the story. How was that?
Well, at that time, in the Netherlands, they had a list of accepted names. And if your name wasn't on the accepted list, you couldn't have that name on your birth certificate. So my father was upset, but he went back to Mother and explained the situation. And he said, "What else did your grandmother have another name?" And Mother said, "Yes, Cecile, Cecile." So my father went back and told that stupid clerk. And he wrote instead Celine, Celine. And my father was absolutely distraught and begged him to change it, to tear up that piece of paper and make it the correct name. Cecile, he refused. So I came home. Father came home, and he was stuck with this name, Celine. My mother was devastated, and he said, "Never mind, darling. The main names really don't matter. We'll call her Zerka. Zerka, as it was pronounced there."
Mm-hmm.
And so there I am. After a while, when I could, in this country, could change, when I came, could do what I wanted with a name, I made it Zerka Celine. When I came to apply for my visa, I put Celine in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And sent
Well,
it to
that is another story. Not from the True Dream Again, a memoir book, but from another book written together with Blomqvist and Rutzel. It's called Psychodrama Surplus, Reality and the Art of Healing.
Right.
Well, and the name I put was A Very Long Time. And you start saying, when we are young, we have a very long future and only a short past. As we go through life, that balance changes. In midlife, we have a longer past and a shorter future. And as we age, we have an even longer past and an even shorter future. During this process, the experience of time takes on different dimensions. Time seems endless when you are young, but as you age, you experience it as going faster and faster. An example could be a story from my family. Do you remember that story? My mother's grandmother, after whom I am named,
Yeah. Grandmother Zerka. It was her 80th birthday. And my mother was about 18 years old. And after the party for the family, my mother asked her, so very, her grandmother was her mentor in life. And she said, "Grandmother, 80 years, is that a very long time?" Remember, she's 18. And my great-grandmother says, "You see this door? It's like going through that door, through the room, to the other room, other door, and leaving it. That's life, from there to there." Because my mother didn't believe it, because here she is, has all this life in front of her. But it's exactly the way it is. Of course, it's pretty meaningful what happens from here to here.
And life at 96?
That other door is still waiting for me.